going, guys, gals, bitches, and dudes? I have a special video for you today. Not really special. Okay, it's not very special at all because it's been done before, but what the hell? I'm going to add my part. It doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do today, if you haven't guessed by the title already, is I'm going to share with you my top 10 favorite Stephen King books. Now, unlike most of the people on here, I have actually read more than like 4 books of his. So I can actually pick 10 books out of like the 40 fucking novels and 8 short story collections that he's done and say these are the best books he's written. Personally, I want to stress that right away before anyone clicks the fuck off this video because they don't like something in the video, all right? These 10 books that I picked are my favorite. All right? This isn't like a worldwide, like these are the best Stephen King books of all time, period. No, this is just my opinion. Don't freak out. And let me tell you this right before we start, all right? This is not a generic list, all right? I'm sure you're thinking like, oh, The Shining's going to be on there. Fucking Salem's Lot's going to be on there. Let me tell you right now, neither of those books are on this list. Yeah, that's right. The Shining and Salem's Lot, not on the list. I may have pissed a lot of people off already by saying that, but that's fine because I'm not saying that they're not great books, all right? I love The Shining. I love Salem's Lot. They're great books. They're just not, they don't fit in the top 10. Anyway, all right, starting off, number 10, real good. I don't have a dust jacket for this one, but it's The Regulators. That's upside down. Way to go. Way to start off real good. The Regulators. Now, this book, you might be thinking, holy hell, why isn't Desperation on your list? I didn't say Desperation wasn't on my list, but I'm going to tell you right now, Desperation is not on my list. Why would I pick Desperation over The Regulators? Simple fact, haven't read Desperation. Sure, it's a great book. I'll get to it eventually. But I have read The Regulators, and I don't know why, I don't know why I'm going to keep showing it. This is just no dust jacket here, so there's no point in showing it to you. I think it's a great idea for a book. I think it's a fantastic story. I mean, if you, spoiler alert, all right? It's about these citizens who live on a street, Poplar Street, I believe it's called, and there's a kid who's like autistic, and this is the spoiler part, he's being controlled by this, demonic thing, whatever, and basically ends up turning his street into an Old West town. Wow, how does that not sound fantastic? Like, why would you not want to read that book? This book fucking starts off, page 1, just takes off like a fucking rocket. 6 chapters of fucking mayhem. Like, it's insane. It's so good. I don't understand how anyone could not like it. I mean, like, it's fantastic. How can people pick Desperation over The Regulators? I mean, I guess I can't really answer that question because I haven't read Desperation yet, but I highly doubt it's better than this. Whatever. Anyway. Number 9, I don't actually own the book, but it's in the mail, which is ironic. It's part of the Bachman books. No, it's not The Long Walk. I had trouble deciding between The Long Walk or Rage, and I'm like, a kid holding up his school with a gun sounds cooler, so I picked that. Rage is... Man, if you haven't read... It sounds really horrifying that I'm super excited about a story about a kid holding his class up, but, it's great. If you haven't read it, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Excuse me. I don't want to spoil anything, but goddamn, it's so good. I feel bad talking about it, and I feel bad saying that it's so good, but it's so good. Number 8, I do actually have this one. I can't tell if it's like an actual novel or a short story collection. It's like billed under a short story collection, but I don't think, because the stories are all connected. Just Hearts in Atlantis. Now, I got super fucking lucky to find this hardcover. I mean, like, look at the condition of this thing. It's like fucking brand new. This is beautiful. I mean, I've been wanting to read this forever because I kept hearing people talk about how friggin' great it is. It's so good. It's one of his best books. Like the stories, the characters, blah blah. And that's what Stephen King does best is characters. So I'm like, well, why would I not want to read this book, right? So I picked it up, friggin' read it. It makes me want to see the movie. I didn't even know there was a movie about it. I've seen the cover of the movie many times with Anthony Hopkins. Never placed it. Had no idea it was connected to this. And now I want to see the goddamn movie. I can't really tell you exactly what this book is about because there's like 5 stories dealing with different things, but they're all connected, like via the characters. And it's so hard to explain, but it's so good. If you have, this is going to be like a review of these books or anything. I'm just going through my favorite book, like saying like, this is a great book, move on. Like, that's basically what I'm doing. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, so I'm not going to, talk about what the book is about. I'm just going to sit here and tell you that this is one of his best books. And it's not just me saying it. This isn't really like a personal decision. This is like a worldwide decision. A lot of people enjoyed this book. So, I mean, you be the judge. Number 7 is, I don't know how to describe number 7. The story, I'll just show it to you. Joyland. Number 7, Joyland is one of, story-wise, it's not great, but the way that he paints a picture of the setting is really what makes this book great. The way he paints the setting is fucking insane. You can almost smell the popcorn and just the sweat and the enjoyment. It's just so good. That's my reason for liking the book. The story's okay. I can get through it. That's fine. But it's just reading the descriptive settings and characters that is it's like fucking porn. I mean, there is no porn in the book. I'm just it's like when you're reading about the characters, you're just like, oh my, yes. Oh, you get it? Number 6 is one I recently finished reading. Mr. Mercedes. Now, I'm going to tell you right now. Oh my god, that hurts my sunburn real bad. Why did I do that? Ooh, Sally has a store! I'm going to tell you right now, regrettably, I have not read Finders Keepers or End of Watch yet. But I'm going to get to them, because I love these type of crime novels. To have one written by my favorite author, I mean, why would I not read it, right? I mean, like, this is such a departure from what Stephen King actually writes most of the time, that it's just like, you read it, and you can tell that the writing is his. You know it's him writing it, because he has a very specific style of writing that you can't not pick out and go, that's definitely Stephen King. But you're reading it, and you're like, this is not something that I could see him writing about, yet here I am reading something that he wrote about that. It's crazy, but it's so fucking good. Oh god, it's literally like a lost episode of NCIS, whatever the fuck that show is called. It's so good. It's so good. I can't explain. I don't want to spoil anything about this book, because talking about any part of this book is a spoiler, except for like the first chapter, really. But anyway, it's so good. Number 5, I actually have another copy of this book coming in the mail tomorrow. It. I have to suffer with this stupid mass market paperback version of this book. I've only read this once. I want to read it again, but I cannot stand this. I can't stand this. It's too look at the size of this thing. This book is fucking huge. And to put it in this shape and size, it's a travesty to do this. They literally, let me explain this to you. The mass market paperback books, they suck, all right? But sometimes you have to deal with them. Whatever. I can deal with them. That's fine. Because usually it's just, like a half a page shortened so it can fit on this size of a page, and then the next half is on the, whatever. I don't know how they fucking do it, whatever. But this one, since there's so many fucking words in this book and so many pages, they literally shrunk the words. They shrunk the words to put more of them on the page. Why? You can't have this size of letters in this size of a book. It's inhuman. You can't do it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't really have to talk about it too much, because I'm sure everyone knows about it. I mean, if you haven't seen the 1990 movie or 2-part miniseries thing with Tim Curry, you're not alive. You're not born. You haven't been born yet. So, I mean, and if you haven't read the book, this book was like published in 1980s something. What the fuck are you doing with your, go read it. What are you doing? Number 4, regrettably, is another book I don't actually own. That's a lie. I did own it at one time, and then it just kind of evaporated. Don't know where it is. No clue. But I have read it, and it's Dr. Sleep. Now, here's the thing. When I said earlier that The Shining's not on this list, I'm sure many of you got super upset about that, because it's one of his greatest books, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Fine. Yes, it's a great book. I just like more things from him other than that book. And I happen to think that the sequel, Dr. Sleep, is better. He doesn't do sequels very often, but goddamn, This book is so far from like what The Shining really is. It's such a distant idea of a story and so original. It's fucking great. At this point, I'm wondering how many people are still watching, because Jesus. I just said Dr. Sleep is better than The Shining. You're damn right I did. All right, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great book. It's an original idea. It's fantastic. It keeps you reading. At least me. That's actually my first occurrence with a Stephen King book where I just didn't want to stop reading. Like, I kept going. Now, number 3 might shock you. Oh, you're gonna get that joke in a minute as soon as I lift up the book. Number 3 is Revival. Did you get the joke? For the life of me, I can't explain to you why I like this book so much. I've read it twice. Okay, which is a feat for me to read anything more than once. I can't explain to you why this book is so good. I'm sure nobody else can either. There's really nothing that jumps out in this book that's like, wow. It's a standard Stephen King novel. The story is just so fucking original and so good. I had to read it twice. It's just that fucking good. This book, this is the first Stephen King book that motherfucker, I got a paper cut. Susan! This book is literally the first Stephen King book that I ever read that I got emotional about. I got emotional about it. You know, when I'm... Okay. Reverend Charles Jacobs. There's a scene in here that tells the story of what happened to his wife and kid. And Jesus H. It's just so... Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic book. This has to be on many people's top 10 lists. You can't not have this on your list. Number 2, which I'm currently in the middle of reading again, because it's that good. I'm not sure anyone will be shocked at this if they know me. Number 2 is Carrie. Obviously, it's Carrie. And I hate the fact that I have it in this little shitty new age mass market paperback fucking copy. I'm not looking to collect things, you know. I'm not out to be like, oh, I want the best of the best. Like, but if I can get a hardcover, fucking gimme. All right? And this, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'll settle for a paperback, but fucking, what is this? Anyway, Carrie, if anyone knows me, I absolutely love Carrie. If you couldn't tell right there, I absolutely love anything Carrie. I love the book, I love the original movie, I love the made-for-TV movie, I love the fucking remake with Chloe, because Chloe is... Ooh, 10 out of 10. But, I mean, anything Carrie, I just love it. If he was going to make a sequel to Carrie, not the fucking movie, whatever that is, that Rage 2, the Carrie 2 or whatever the fuck that is. But if there was actually a legit book that he wrote, like a sequel to Carrie, fucking good Lord, sign me up. Oh my God. I just love this book so much. You can't not like Carrie. I think I like this book a lot because of the subject matter. Like the fact that she was bullied and she gets revenge, hard revenge, and she wins. I wasn't like a super faggot nerd in school, but I also wasn't Mr. Popular, okay? And so I mean, I've gotten picked on many times before. Like, what the fuck? I mean, if you were a kid, which I'm sure you were at one point in time, you were picked on at least once. You had to have been. Going through that type of situation, having those thoughts in school, like, you know, I wish I could fucking slam that fucker's head in the locker. You read this, and I mean, she has telekinesis, so she's got a big upper hand. But I mean, you just read this and you're like, yes, I would have done this. Thank you for standing up for yourself. This is great. That's why I like it, at least. I don't know. Now, number 1, this should come as an actual shock to many people. This has been one hell of a diverse list so far, if you couldn't tell. And let me tell you right now that my number 1 choice, I've read it I have to talk about it before I show it, because I don't want people to like fucking just look at it and then go, oh, so that's number 1. Okay, I'm done watching the video now. No. Let me talk about it first and get what I have to say out, so you have to hear it, and then I'll show you it. I've read this book 3 times. 3 goddamn times. Because of the subject matter. I've read this book 3 goddamn times because of the subject matter. I'm so passionate about the subject matter of this book that I can't not fall in love with it. You can't. I saw this in stores on the shelf and I'm like, what? I had to buy it. And I read it in 2 days the first time. Fuck me, it's amazing. Let me stop stalling at this point because Jesus Christ. 11/22/63. Woo! Did you see that coming? I bet you didn't. No, well, I mean, you might have. If you know me, then clearly this isn't that big of a surprise. But I mean, like, the two subjects I'm talking about, time travel and JFK. I could talk forever about time travel and JFK. And to have my favorite author write a book about being able to stop his assassination using time travel. I mean, Jesus Christ. One thing that really pissed me off was the fucking miniseries that they made with James Franco. God damn it. I was so excited when I heard that they were making a miniseries on this book. I fucking flipped out. I was so excited. Could not wait. And then I heard that they were, it was James Franco. Okay, don't see him as a Jake Epping, but whatever. I mean, this is an 8-part thing. You would assume 8 parts. You could fit this whole book, page for page, in 8 parts of a miniseries. 8 parts! 8! How could you leave anything out of this book? With 8 parts, you have 8 hours to work with. And somehow, there were many things that were left out of the story. Like the whole Carolyn Pollen? The girl who got shot by the dude by accident in the woods and ends up in the wheelchair and she gets the award and all that, blah, blah. That side story that Al told Jake doesn't exist. Doesn't exist in the thing. Maybe. Hold on. I don't know. I only got like 4 episodes into the miniseries before I'm like, fuck this, because they skipped so much stuff. So it may still be in there. I don't know. The thing that really pissed me off about, I'm already talking too much about this, but I can go on forever. But the one thing that really pissed me off about the miniseries was that it started in 1960. In the book, it starts 11:58 a.m. on some day, September something, 1958. Why are you skipping 2 years? What's the why? The reason they did that is because they could cut out all the bullshit before he goes in for the last time, until 1963. They cut out all that stuff, and it pissed me off so much because the first part of this book is like my favorite part of the book. When Al is talking about, all of his adventures going there, and then Jake goes in for himself and buys the fucking root beer at the Kennebec Fruit Company, and oh my god, they just cut it all out, and it pissed me off so much. But this fucking book has so much in it that I love it. I apologize. I've talked enough about this book. I've talked enough in general. So that was my list. My top 10 favorite Stephen King books of all time. I hope you enjoyed this list. I'm sure none of you did, except for maybe Revival and Carrie. And maybe 11/20. I hope 11/22. If you don't like this book, we're not friends. I don't care. I don't like you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you had a fantastic time. Now I'm going to go read this again. So, I've never been what you call a crying man. My ex-wife said that my non-existent emotional gradient was the main reason she was leaving me. Sorry, I didn't turn the camera off.